faithful few, welcome back to my channel. My name's Faith. If you're new here, I'm a mommy to a 1-year-old and I have baby number 2 on the way, due in about 6 months. So today I want to talk about my 12 weeks pregnancy update. Now I'm a few days behind on my schedule that I've been working so hard to try and keep to, and it never happens. Yesterday I officially turned 13 weeks, so I'm a little bit behind. I'm so sorry, please forgive me, but this is all fresh. So I'm able to tell you pretty easily what's been going on. I'm eating my breakfast this morning while I talk with you guys. Actually, let's be honest, this is my second breakfast of the day. I typically have to eat my second breakfast around 10 a.m. during my son's first nap. But anyway, you saw me making this. I am so excited to eat this. I thought it was an appropriate way to start off this video because this week I have been able to start eating eggs again. And if you've watched any of my other videos that I've made, like my what I eat in a day, those videos and stuff, I'm just so grateful I can eat my scrumdiddly-umptious eggs again. Hallelujah. Nothing like a fried egg over some grits with the yolk, just kind of so good. So if you can't already tell, I feel a lot better than I have in over a month, probably more like a month and a half, 2 months. I just kind of feel like I'm finally getting back to myself. Now, don't get me wrong, I threw up like 2 hours ago. For the most part, just the constant, and I said this last week, so sorry to repeat, but the constant agony of my stomach feeling like it's on fire, or just, you know, walking around with it feeling like I've got some throw up sitting right here and that could come up at any moment. That's going away. And I really technically only feel that in the early morning before I eat something, in the late evening when it's been a while since I've eaten something. And some days are way worse than others, and that's just how it is. I've tried to figure out why some days are just significantly worse than other days, and I really can't. I think it helps if I eat my dinner slowly but surely. So for example, last night we usually eat dinner around 5, and I had a turkey burger at 5. Didn't eat my second one. Typically though I would, because this girl knows how to eat, if you know what I mean. So I just had one turkey burger, and then for the rest of the night I just kind of munched on gluten-free graham crackers and things like that, and it really helped. I felt significantly better last night. But the night before that I was throwing up until 11 p.m. and I'm guessing it's because I had one heavier dinner at 5, and by 11 that's well worn off, and I was throwing up bile. I hope I'm not making anybody sick by talking about this, but I just hope I want to normalize some of these things because people don't talk about it. 1, because they don't want to make other people sick, but then 2, because it's a little taboo, but we really need to be able to talk about these things, because in my first pregnancy, when I was going through all this, I was afraid maybe I had hypernemesis, which if you haven't heard, that's extreme morning sickness. And like, do I need to go to the hospital because I've thrown up 3 times today, you know, and am I dehydrated? I will throw in one thing that I'm making sure to drink a lot of lately, because I really don't want to get dehydrated: working out and running about every other day, and throwing up about every day, once or twice. I've just lowered my straight up water intake and definitely been drinking a lot more Gatorade and antioxidant rich waters and things like that. I worry a little bit about those Gatorades and the vitamin waters and all those things because they kind of have added sugar in them, but it's kind of 6 1 half dozen the other. If I'm throwing up all my liquids, I really need to be fueling my body. I'm feeling better. I'm feeling more and more like myself. I personally come from the viewpoint that it's almost impossible. If you have significant morning sickness, you don't even have to have hypernemesis, but if you have any kind of significant morning sickness that is debilitating, where you can't perform your normal daily functions, like some people can just throw up once in the morning and the rest of the day they feel fairly good and they can go to their job and stuff like that. If I had a job, I wouldn't be able to go to it, because especially during, you know, 7 to 10 weeks pregnant, I kind of have to just sit, lay, throw up all day long, and it's debilitating. I think if you have morning sickness that's at all debilitating, I come from the viewpoint that it's almost impossible to not get depressed from it, because that's a month or more of intense, constant being nauseated, having vomit, just kind of sitting there and waiting for it just to come up and maybe feel some relief for about 5 minutes until the sickness comes back. Anyway, if you feel like you are struggling with morning sickness, depression, I'm planning on making a video about that. And I would love for you to comment down below if you have any questions or if you want to start a conversation about that, because I'm here for you and I know that pain. I'm just so grateful that the clouds have parted and I'm starting to feel better. We were able to take a day trip over to Charleston. I posted some really cute pictures on my Instagram. So if you're not following me on Instagram, I'll put it right here. You should follow me. I can, create stories and put stories on my Instagram that I can't just like edit a video and do, like I'm not a daily vlogger. This past Wednesday, sorry. See, I'm not completely better. This past Wednesday, the reason why I didn't get the video out sooner is because the day when I normally film this weekly pregnancy update is when we just escaped. We took a day and we went to Charleston. It's about an hour and a half away from where we live. And we walked around downtown, we went to the beach, and we really needed the escape and the reminder that we are young people. Our lives doesn't have to be ruled by my husband's job. If you don't know, my husband is a pastor. My husband is finishing up his last full semester of seminary. He graduates or he walks the stage next weekend and then has 2 self-led, self-taught classes over the summer to do. And then he's done. He has his master's degree in 2 years. I'm so proud of him. But that doesn't mean that these past months and these past weeks haven't been hard as he tries to finish up those classes and do all the extra work around graduation and things like that. And it can just be easy to get inside the rut. And we've been really struggling these last few months with me being so sick and my husband being so busy. That's made it hard, but I've been so encouraged to see how much my body has really, I've pushed it far and it's risen to the occasion in a lot of ways. Let me take a bite real quick. This yumminess. Ooh, girl, you know how to fry an egg. I remember with my first pregnancy, kind of just being like, how am I ever going to survive all of this pain, all of this nausea, all of this debilitating sickness while chasing after another kid, and actually having real anxiety about it in my first pregnancy. So now that it's a reality, I've been really impressed with my body and how it's risen to the occasion. And I think in some ways, morning sickness is actually easier the second time around because you're forced to get out of bed. You're forced to push through the pain and the nausea and the sickness and care after your first child. You have to. You don't have a choice. And I think sometimes, when I think back to my first pregnancy and being so sick, I just remember laying in bed, feeling miserable, feeling bad for myself. And that only makes you feel worse if you're isolated in your bedroom in the dark, laying there just throwing up, eating crap. That only made me more depressed and more gross. And so I think having my son here has actually been a blessing because it pushes me farther. Now, if I'm going to be able to do this again with 2 kids, I don't know. That's another topic for another day. We don't know. Just having to get out of bed has helped me a lot. And I think overall made this process happier and less depressed, maybe. I don't know. I should, if I remember correctly, with my last pregnancy, I felt pretty much 95% back to normal in regards to morning sickness by 14 weeks pregnant. So this is my last stretch. This is my last week. I can push through. It's easier than ever. And it's only going to get easier in some ways. Really, truly, in my last pregnancy, the first trimester was significantly harder than any of the other trimesters. And my second trimester was pretty blissful. My second trimester was awesome. I'm starting to show. I don't just look like a fat girl. Also, you're just not entirely so big where you're uncomfortable. So anyway, that brings me to think of another thing that I wanted to bring up was I have this rude guy at my gym. He's sweet, actually. He's a northerner and he comes and works out whenever he's in town, which he comes in town often. And a couple months ago, I saw him at the gym and he said, man, oh man, you just got huge with your last pregnancy. Dude, you got huge. You were ginormous, and just kept going on about how big I was in my first pregnancy and how I'd lost my baby weight. I think he was meaning it as a compliment, you lost your weight. And hashtag praise the Lord for breastfeeding for that one. I was just really offended by the way he just kept wanting to make sure that I understood that I was ginormous when I was pregnant. I just found out that I was pregnant days before. And so I was like, well, I'm pregnant again. I was so offended. And he was just kind of oh, great. Well, good luck with getting huge again, kind of thing. Well, yesterday I saw him again at my gym. I had a great run, praise the Lord. It was short. It was 25 minutes maybe. but it was still a really good run. And anyway, I get off the treadmill and I walk past him and he says, man, it's gonna take you like 2 years to get back to your beach body. I guess he was saying that because I'm getting pregnant again. I was thoroughly shocked. I don't understand, and this was a huge problem with my first pregnancy. I keep needing to make these videos, but I keep putting them off. I used to struggle with an eating disorder. I struggled with anorexia and bulimia, but not in the traditional sense. So comment down below if you want me to share about that. And if you think it would benefit you, or if you're just interested, whatever. I think a lot more people struggle with anorexia and bulimia and go undiagnosed because their anorexia and bulimia looks more like what I had versus the traditional anorexia and bulimia. So anyway, I can share more about that in the videos whenever I get around to making them. But, it really bothers me that when I'm pregnant, people feel like they can comment on my weight and comment on my size and comment on my body. Whether that's, now let's be real, like when I was breastfeeding, I was getting comments weekly at church. You've lost too much weight. You've lost all your baby weight. When are you gonna stop losing weight? I was getting comments like that just 4 months ago. And now it's comments of, oh, you're showing. Oh, I can tell you're pregnant now. And then I'm sure I'm gonna get the comments of, you're huge. Wow, what are you due? You still have 3 more months? Jeez Louise. You know, I'm gonna get comments implying that I'm way too big. And it just irritates me that it's already happening and that people think it's okay. Now, for so long, you're a young girl, then you're in high school, then you're in college. People know pretty much to not make comments about your weight or your size. And if they do make comments, they're embarrassed if they did or whatever, they know it's wrong. But the moment you become pregnant, people all of a sudden feel like they have the right to make comments about your body. And that just really frustrates me because my body does not become public property the moment that I become pregnant. Does it? No, it doesn't. And it doesn't really bother me when people walk up and touch my belly because I haven't really had that happen a whole lot. But what does bother me is when people walk up and comment on my body because I get that a whole lot more. And I don't know if it's just the region that I live in or what, but I am an open book and I will talk to you about anything, but under the right circumstances. Don't just walk up and flippantly call me fat and then walk away, you know? Yeah, those are just some of the things that have kind of defined this week. Just feeling better, you know, thinking about more long-term stuff. But that's kind of, this is what's been on my mind this week. I'll show you my baby bump. Okay. That's my C-section infection scar. My C-section scar is like way below my underwear line. But yeah. I can feel that I'm bigger. When I'm sitting, I can feel a little bit more of a pooch. My clothes aren't fitting the same. So that's kind of fun. And it's a great process to go through of letting go of your self-image and not letting your self-worth, you know, kind of marinate in your size and your appearance. If you're interested in this, I don't even know if you care. So I'm still breastfeeding my son. He's a year old, but breastfeeding is going really well. So I don't know if I'm gonna stop anytime soon. My milk also may dry up in the next coming weeks. But I've gained about 10 pounds. And I think some of that is, I think it would be more for sure if I wasn't breastfeeding. So that's where I am with that. And then also, it hit me last night in the shower. It's only gonna be a matter of a few weeks. I think I felt my first kicks around 16 weeks. Anyway, so it's coming up real soon that I'm gonna start feeling kicks and it's gonna become even more real. We'll find out the gender probably sometime in May. So anyway, it's just amazing how fast it's flying by. Let me know if you're pregnant with me. I love, love, love getting y'all's comments and hearing that other people are pregnant alongside me and their experiences and all those things. Let me know if anything I said kind of struck up some interest or whatever. Those video ideas that I've mentioned that I really need to make. Oh, okay. Anyway, I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching, supporting, encouraging me. I have so much fun with this channel. So anyway, like and subscribe if you're not already, and I look forward to seeing y'all in my next video. Bye, you guys. Love you. Bye.